Ever wonder how cars worth hundreds of thousands of dollars can turn into million-dollar headaches? In this countdown, we're revealing 10 luxury rides that wealthy owners quietly admit were huge mistakes. From unexpected breakdowns to eye-watering maintenance bills, these stories show even the rich can regret their choices. Stick around, because the most surprising entry is a car many still dream about, until they own it. Number 1. Maserati Ghibli. At first glance, the Maserati Ghibli offers everything you might expect from a sleek Italian sedan. Low, aggressive lines, a growling exhaust note, and that instantly recognizable Trident badge. For many buyers, it feels like a way to get exotic flair without diving into full supercar territory. Test drives often seal the deal, with sharp steering and a sporty cabin that makes the price tag seem like a bargain for the badge. But once the honeymoon phase ends, owner reports tell another story. Frequent electrical glitches, unpredictable transmission behavior, and depreciation that can strip away massive value within just a few years are common complaints. Build quality varies from car to car, and upkeep costs often match those of far pricier exotics. Industry data on resale value shows the Ghibli trailing most competitors, and reliability surveys have rated it below average for its class. For wealthy buyers expecting a stress-free ownership, the allure of Italian style quickly fades when repairs and maintenance start to overshadow driving enjoyment. And that disillusionment isn't unique. Another iconic nameplate has left some owners equally frustrated. Number 2. Jaguar F-Type. Once you get behind the wheel of a Jaguar F-Type, it is simple to become engrossed in the sensation that you are experiencing. The long hood stretched out in front of the vehicle, the cabin had a snug yet upscale feel to it, and the exhaust tone was loud enough to make anyone's heart rate quicken. The precise handling and rapid acceleration create an exhilarating blend that convinces many purchasers that they have found the ideal sports car. This is because the test drive creates this intoxicating environment. Ownership, on the other hand, frequently paints a different picture. Electrical hiccups might occur out of nowhere, such as warning lights that refuse to turn off, sensors that incorrectly interpret the conditions, and screens that freeze in the middle of the drive. Although it has a contemporary appearance, the infotainment system has been known to have slowness or crash, which may be annoying for even the most patient drivers. In the event that something has broken, there are not always parts available, which can result in wait times that can last for many weeks. It has been pointed out by reviewers on multiple occasions that the F-Type's reliability ratings are lower than those of comparable luxury sports vehicles. The reality of frequent dealer visits replaced the excitement that wealthy customers had on the day of delivery. These buyers expected constant performance and minimum inconvenience because they were anticipating it. To some, the following car on this list would provide an even more expensive surprise than the one that came before it. Number 3. Rolls-Royce Ghost, early models. When it was first introduced, the Rolls-Royce Ghost promised to deliver unparalleled levels of comfort and craftsmanship. Every aspect of the vehicle, from the hushed interior to the seamless power delivery, was crafted with the intention of lending an almost otherworldly quality to the experience of driving or being driven. For those who purchased it early on, it appeared to be the pinnacle of luxury automobiles. On the other hand, the initial production years came to light faults that nobody anticipated at this pricing point. There were reports from owners that the air suspension units failed much earlier than they should have, and the complicated electronics that controlled the convenience features occasionally stopped operating without any prior warning. These were neither simple or inexpensive fixes. Repairs that were not covered by the manufacturer's warranty may cost up to 5 figures, even for components as insignificant as door mechanisms or seat controls. Specialists at Rolls-Royce have observed that some of these issues were associated with new systems that were introduced with the Ghost. As a result, early versions were more temperamental than subsequent revisions. When you include in depreciation that was significantly higher than anticipated, a car that was supposed to be a secure and long-term enjoyment turned out to be a source of recurring expenses. It was abundantly evident to certain affluent owners that ultra-luxury did not necessarily ensure ultra-reliability throughout the entire process. When it came to another well-known luxury brand from the United Kingdom, this lesson would become even more clear. Number 4. Bentley Continental GT, older generations. Over the course of its history, the Bentley Continental GT has been advertised as the ideal combination of British luxury and unbridled performance. Initial purchasers were enticed by the vehicle's formidable grille, the handcrafted inside, and the promise of being able to travel at high speeds without experiencing any discomfort. Under the hood, the W12 engine provided effortless power, contributing to the vehicle's status as a statement piece, in addition to its function as a motor vehicle. On the other hand, for earlier generations, that glitter frequently concealed some very prohibitively priced realities. Due to the extremely complicated architecture of the W12, even normal maintenance needed specialist knowledge, and even relatively minor repairs may cost thousands of dollars. The owners experienced constant electrical problems, which increased to their irritation. These problems ranged from seat controls that did not work properly to problems with the information and entertainment system. In several cases, service intervals arrived earlier than anticipated, and it was occasionally necessary to order parts directly from the United Kingdom, which resulted in an increase in both prices and downtime. It has been brought to the attention of long-term owners that they have grossly misjudged the costs of operation, with annual maintenance amounting to a sizable proportion of the vehicle's initial worth. For some people, the ideal of long-distance, high-speed luxury was replaced by an equation in which the costs outweighed the joy. This was something that would become even more obvious with certain high-profile exotics. Number 5. Lamborghini Gallardo, pre-2013. When a buyer finally gets their hands on the keys to a Lamborghini Gallardo, it can feel like a win that doesn't come around very often. All of the elements, including the low stance, the sharp angles, and the recognizable insignia, scream exotic status. In particular, the models that were produced prior to 2013 were alluring because they provided the performance of a supercar without reaching the exorbitant pricing of more recent Lamborghinis. In spite of this, the steep learning curve was frequently accompanied by the thrill. The E-Gear automated manual transmission that was used in earlier automobiles had a reputation for wearing down prematurely, and when the clutch needed to be replaced, the cost could easily reach 5 figures. Even the most ordinary servicing was anything but routine. Annual maintenance regimens frequently cost several $1,000s, and ignoring them ran the risk of turning minor problems into significant repairs. Quirks in the cooling system, restricted access to the engine bay, and components that need to be completely disassembled in order to fix small issues are some of the things that exotic car mechanics who are experienced with the Gallardo point out. A number of proprietors were confronted with the fact that the initial acquisition price was merely the beginning point. Once the recurring costs were made evident, the excitement of the car frequently gave way to the pragmatism of whether or not it could actually stay on the road. This is something that even high-tech electric choices have grappled with in a different way. Number 6. Tesla Model X. Buyers were drawn to the Tesla Model X because of its combination of cutting-edge styling and impressive electric performance. It was not simply a party trick that the Falcon wing doors were. They offered quick entry in confined situations and made the SUV stand out even in the most exclusive parking lots. When you include in a big touchscreen, updates that are delivered over the air, and amazing acceleration, many people considered it to be the future of luxury automobiles. However, for those who were early proprietors, that future frequently brought with it difficulties. A Falcon. It was possible for the wing doors to refuse to open or close, for the sensors to incorrectly identify obstructions, and for alignment concerns to necessitate frequent service visits. Despite the fact that Tesla's repair network failed to keep up with demand, even minor faults frequently resulted in lengthy wait times, with parts becoming stuck in service backlogs. In terms of dependability, the Model X was routinely ranked worse than a number of conventional luxury SUVs, according to reports from polls of electric vehicle owners. The encounter turned into a never-ending cycle of troubleshooting and scheduling repairs for a few millionaires who had high expectations for the level of dependability they anticipated. It was exhilarating to have access to cutting-edge technology, but day-to-day ownership proved to be a challenge of patience. This was similar to what other people discovered when they owned conventionally constructed Grand Tours that promised more than they delivered. Number 7. Aston Martin DB9. The Aston Martin DB9 was able to achieve its position as a design icon by virtue of its sleek and flowing lines, as well as its V12 engine, which provided it with considerable performance capabilities. For a great number of purchasers, it exemplified the ideal combination of comfort for long-distance travel and distinctive British flair. It was the kind of automobile that made a statement without being overt about it. However, once they were out on the road, owners frequently discovered that elegance did not insulate them from headaches that remained there. There was a consistent pattern of electrical issues, ranging from window regulators that failed to function to dashboard displays that stopped working. In comparison to its competitors, the infotainment system came off as antiquated very immediately due to its poor reflexes and restricted capabilities. For the amount of effort that was needed, even relatively minor repairs, such as repairing trim or fixing a malfunctioning switch, may result in bills that appeared to be excessively exorbitant. There was a greater impact of depreciation than some people had anticipated, with resale values falling more quickly than predicted in the premium market category. The experience was described by several owners as a privilege to drive, but a pain to maintain, which successfully captures the bittersweet nature of the trade-off presented. In spite of the undeniable fact that the DB9 was appealing, living with it on a day-to-day basis frequently tested both patience and financial resources. This was similar to another highly sought-after luxury vehicle on this list that came with its own set of compromises. Number 8. Mercedes-Benz G-Class, pre-2019. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class that was produced prior to 2019 was immediately identifiable. While its price tag and interior finishes indicated that it was a premium status symbol, its boxy design and military heritage gave the impression that it was a very durable and sturdy tool. For many wealthy purchasers, the issue was not so much about performance as it was about presence. However, when it came to driving on a daily basis, that off-road DNA revealed its limitations. The steering felt heavy and inaccurate, the handling on pavement was uncomfortable, and the fuel economy lingered in the low teens. These are stats that astonished several owners who are used to more current efficiency. Although it was a luxurious interior, the technology and ergonomics there were not as advanced as those found in other high-end SUVs of the same era. Underneath, the hand-built nature of the G-Wagon meant that components were expensive to replace, and in addition, ordinary maintenance could take longer because parts were not always readily accessible. Reviews from the industry emphasized how the 2019 redesign addressed the majority of problems by incorporating enhanced interiors, improved steering, and revised suspension, all of which contributed to increased levels of satisfaction among owners. As a result of the mismatch between the prestige image and the practicalities of the real world, many people who had older models decided to sell or exchange their vehicles early. This was occasionally done in the hope of finding something that promised both luxury and livability, which is a combination that not every entry-level supercar offers. Number 9. Ferrari California. Something unusual was promised by the Ferrari California, a grand tourer that could be driven on a daily basis without compromising the dignity of the manufacturer's insignia. As a result of its foldable hardtop cover, front-mounted V8 engine, and ride that was optimized for comfort, it appeared to be the ideal entry point into Ferrari ownership for individuals who did not want a machine that was focused on racing conditions. As soon as the novelty wore off, however, problems started to become apparent. In the middle of the cycle, the hardtop became stuck due to problems in the sophisticated roof system, as reported by the owners. Problems with the transmission, particularly with the dual clutch unit, might result in expensive repairs. Even routine wear components, including as brakes and tires, came with bills that were significantly higher than those encountered by other luxury convertibles. In addition, several people had the impression that it lacked the raw, visceral edge that they had anticipated from the brand because of the softer suspension and the less forceful handling. The data for resale tell their own story. The initial depreciation was severe, and in some instances, it wiped out a significant portion of the value in just a few very short years. A number of affluent owners ended up using the California as both their first exposure to Ferrari and their last opportunity to purchase the brand. In addition, when practicality and passion come into conflict with one another, the attention frequently shifts to models who attempted to blend the two, but did not always succeed. Number 10. Porsche Panamera, first generation. When Porsche introduced the first edition of the Panamera, it was a significant undertaking for the company to enter the realm of full-size luxury cars. It promised the performance of a sports car when combined with the practicality of a four-door vehicle, a combination that was aimed specifically at purchasers who desired both speed and status in a single package. On the other hand, the actuality sparked controversy right from the beginning. Its stretched, nearly hunchback appearance diverged from the brand's legacy of sleek coupes, which caused the styling to divide opinions based on how it was designed. Some owners experienced significant early reliability difficulties, including engine breakdowns in particular trim levels and electrical issues that affected essential systems like its climate control and driver displays. These concerns were discovered beneath the surface. When compared to the size and cost of the vehicle, the back seats were likewise a disappointment. In particular, when traveling for longer distances, the headroom and legroom did not provide the limousine-like comfort that many people anticipated. A number of mechanics pointed out that maintaining the Panamera required components that were neatly packaged, which meant that even relatively small repairs could need a significant amount of time and expensive parts. For high-net-worth buyers seeking an uncompromised luxury sedan, these drawbacks often ended the experiment early. Many returned to more traditional flagship sedans, realizing that Porsche's first attempt at this formula came with trade-offs the badge alone couldn't overcome. Spending more doesn't always mean you're getting a better ownership experience. As these examples show, even the most admired brands can leave owners frustrated, out of pocket, and searching for ways to offload their mistake. Prestige badges and eye-catching designs may win attention, but they can't erase ongoing breakdowns, steep depreciation, or endless service visits. Before signing on the dotted line, research the real-world costs, reliability records, and long-term satisfaction reports. A smart buy isn't about what impresses today, it's about what still feels worth owning years later. Even millionaires discover that passion without practicality can lead straight to regret. If this saved you from a regret buy, like and subscribe for smarter car picks. Be first to catch, dealerships are now selling their vehicles for insanely low prices when it drops.